that moment you found out you just recorded a whole video and your microphone wasn't even on. That's awesome. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Caleb and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I want to tell you guys a story kind of about how I got started on this YouTube channel and what is the whole point of me being here and what I have to offer to you. So far on this channel, I haven't really had a chance to kind of dive deeper into this, but since I have, 30 or 40 videos out so far, I decided now is a good time to tell you guys why I'm here and the value that I would like to provide to you guys and why I even wanted to start this channel in the first place. So first, we got to take you back to when I was in elementary school. So I remember I was sitting in my 5th grade class one day and I was making these cool little pinwheel origami things out of colored sticky notes, and this kid came up to me and was like, "Here, if I give you this $1, will you make me one?" And I was like, I could make money off of these, can't I? And it really put this thought in my head as to like, okay, if I can provide value to people, then I could get compensated for it. And so what ended up happening is I made $1 off of this kid, and eventually half of my class ended up wanting these, and so I made like $10 or $20 over the next week or so before people got burnt out with the whole trend of these things I was making. But what I learned from this is that I can make money, and it really put this like hustling mentality in my head moving forward. So then when I got into middle school, there was a couple of other things that I tried to dabble with and make money on. Like I started a YouTube channel in early 6th grade. I made a little bit of money from that from making Lego tutorials back in the day before anyone had 1 million subscribers. And then I think in like 7th grade, I started to make duct tape wallets for people. And I got really good at this actually, and this was probably my greatest achievement thus far. I would make them fully customizable so you could choose how many pockets you wanted. And eventually they spread around the entire school where I was getting, 5 to 10 orders a day, and I couldn't even keep up with it at all. And I was pretty much that kid that was sitting on, hundreds of dollars in my back pocket at any given time at school. Now, I kept doing this until about the middle of freshman year of high school until I got completely burnt out, but I learned a lot of valuable skills from this. I learned how to scale a business, I learned how to keep track of finances in a business, and I found that if you can find a gap in society that you can fill with a specific skill that you have, then you can make a lot of money. I'd say from the duct tape wallets from about 7th to 8th grade, I made like probably $1,000 to $2,000 per year that I was doing this. Now, in the grand scheme of things as an adult, a couple grand is really not that much, but when you're a 7th grader, that is a lot of money. So now to bring things forward to more of the present day, now I graduate high school, I am getting my first few jobs, I'm kind of, approaching the time of moving out and stuff like that. And just growing up, I remember my parents never really had that much money. Like anything over $20 that I wanted to buy, I basically would have to save up for it myself, and I would have to figure out some way to earn the money to buy that thing. So like when I started my first YouTube channel when I was like 11 or 12, I had to buy my own laptop, my own camera, I had to figure out how to get editing software. I ended up buying my own BMX bike when I was in middle school and things like that. Like my parents were kind of paycheck to paycheck for the most part, so I never grew up with money management skills, and everything in the business side of things I was self-taught. But once I got to the end of high school and the years following that, I got really into making hip-hop music and trying to make it as a musician. So of course I was having to do all this myself. I was having to buy my own gear. I didn't have the money for studio time or professional people that I could hire, so I had to learn how to do everything on my own, and I had to buy my own mic and my own like mixing boards and things like that. Every time I got more money for my job, I would just spend it on more gear and stuff. I would set aside money for bills, and then everything after that I would be like, okay, how can I put this to work this week to further my path next week? Now, the one fatal flaw I had with this money mentality is I never had an emergency fund. So if something bad were to happen, I definitely did not have the money to recover from that situation. And the other thing that I was getting really burnt out with is the fact that I made, $2 grand a month at my job, and my rent was only, $500 or $600 a month. So I was like, where is this $1,400 going every month? And also, why is it taking me 6 months to save up for this $400 microphone? That was the other thing I was really tired of, is anytime I wanted to buy a new piece of gear, it would take me months to save up for this because I would just spend it on like shorter term things, whether that be like eating out or unhealthy addictions, or I would try and, buy beats to like make music onto, or I would spend money on advertising so I could promote my music more. And I didn't really have a good fundamental sense of like how to invest in myself in the most efficient way possible based on my current income situation. So long story short, crap hits the fan, and basically I go and buy this $400 mic, and then about a month or two later, my car decides to start spilling coolant all over the road. I ended up finding a massive crack in my intake manifold on my car, which is basically the thing that sits on top of your engine that feeds all the air to the individual pistons for it to combust, and coolant was pretty much spilling not only out onto the road, but all over my engine and all over the inside of the pistons. So of course I'm panicking at this point because I'm like, okay, I need this car to get to work, and I also don't have the money to fix my car, and even if I did, it's going to cost me, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 to fix this because this is a very involved and intense job, and the pricing for labor at mechanics is through the freaking roof. So I decided that I'm going to figure out how to fix my car completely by myself, but I still needed to figure out where the money was going to come from. So what I ended up doing is I sold all of my music gear, and I sold that brand new mic that I just bought that I was absolutely excited about and obsessed about. And this was the one thing that I vowed to never do when I started making music when I was 16 or 17, is I'm never going to take steps backward. But this is one of those times where I was like, this is the only way out. I have to take this risk. This one thing that I never wanted to do is the only way that I can get out of this situation. Because at this time, I didn't have any credit cards yet. I didn't have any way to finance my, car repairs. I pretty much just had to figure it out. Now, you might be asking, why are you telling me this right now? So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I learned one really important lesson from all of this, and that is basically how to just have better money habits and better money psychology. So this is the one situation that I point everything back to that started my financial journey in the first place. And right around this time is when I started to get into Graham Stephan, and I found the Acorns app back in the early days. And I just remember when I went through this situation with my car, it ended up going perfectly fine, by the way. I ended up fixing my car with my own bare two hands. It took me about 10 hours a day for like 3 days, but shout out to Mateo for letting me use his garage for all that time, and all the other friends who lent me their tools and stuff like that. But right after this situation, I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to never be in this situation again. First, I never want to have an emergency that I cannot afford to repair, and I also don't want to continue spending half of my year saving up for this like one item. Because if I'm making $1,500 in extra income every month, or even, $500 in extra income every month, I should have been able to buy that mic every month that year. But the fact that it took me half a year to save up for that is absolutely ridiculous, and now I was starting to see this. And so that's why I got into Graham Stephan and all those other financial YouTubers, because I was just trying to figure out how to never have this happen again, and I really wanted to learn the skills that wealthier people had to never be in these financial situations again. So now fast forward again about another year. Now the COVID pandemic is starting, and the government is handing out free money like crazy with the stimulus checks and the unemployment, which I ended up being on for a period of time. And so I pretty much went from almost going bankrupt with my car situation to now I had $10,000 invested in multiple different accounts. I had a few $1,000s in my checking account, and during that same year I was able to buy a new, $700 bike, $700 camera, $2,500 MacBook. I bought a new iPad, I bought a new iPhone. There was a multitude of other things that I ended up buying, and then I also ended up moving out with my partner for the first time. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is I'm not bragging at all, but I went from having nothing to being very abundant and financially well off relative to where I was. And so during the pandemic, about a year into it or so, kind of towards the end of 2019 or 2020, I think it was, I ended up thinking about it a lot at work because I would hear other people getting unemployment or going through financial hardships as well. And I basically was like, I want to show people how I got out of my situation because I think this would benefit people quite a lot. And at the end of the day, it really just comes to being aware of your money psychology and how to budget and how to approach investing and things like that, and how to automate your savings. All these types of adulting related skills I wanted to teach to people. So I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel again. But this time I'm going to take it seriously, and I want to show people how I turn my life around. And not only do I want to teach people about money and investing, but I also want to teach people about how to invest in your own mind. So not only how to, save money and budget and things like that, but also how to, alleviate stress, how to be more self-motivated, how to, chase after different business ventures and increase your organizational and productivity skills. Pretty much all the things that they don't really teach you when you're in school. Now, they might teach you this stuff in college, which I never did, but they definitely don't really teach this stuff in high school, and especially public schooling and middle school even. And so I thought about this and I'm like, this would be a great YouTube channel, is just teaching people all of the things that I've learned over the years that I've been self-taught with, that they don't teach you in school, and I think they should teach you in school. I feel like in school they should teach you how to manage your money, they should teach you how to invest in the stock market, how to plan for retirement, how to manage your mind and your mental health and avoid being depressed and things like that. And also just generalized productivity skills, like how to keep a schedule or how to keep a journal or how to just manage your time better, so you could be more productive, you're less lazy, you do less things that are a waste of time, and you don't end up being that person that works 40 hours a week and all of your free time is spent scrolling through TikTok and Facebook. Because I promise you, if you are doing that, you are probably not going to get success. Now, if you want success in your job, that's a whole different thing. But if you want success and want to be an entrepreneur or want to be self-employed and things like that, there's a lot of skills there that you need, and none of it is taught in high school. And so that is the whole point of this channel, is I want to show you guys how to invest in yourself. Oh ho ho, there's the punchline. Yeah, that's right. I want to teach you how to invest in yourself, because my whole experience on this earth has been reaping the benefits of me investing in myself from the age of whatever age I was in 5th grade to, throughout middle school and throughout high school. And I just really want to give back to you guys, because I have made it to a place where I don't need to worry about ever going bankrupt again. Even though I'm not well off, my net worth is still, less than $20,000. But it's better than having a net worth of $400. So I want to give you all the best skills that I have and that I've learned over the years to help you invest in yourself so you can achieve your best life, achieve your goals, strive to be a better person every day, and all around just be an adult and succeed at adult things. So yeah, if you're interested in all that stuff, be sure to subscribe down below, and if you found value in today's video, please leave a fat like down below as well. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Caleb, welcome to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.